Bonjour à tous, c'est Johara Gemma, maintenant sur la route avec Johara Gemma. Hello everybody, this is Johara Gemma. Today on the road with Johara Gemma, I wanted to go ahead and share my life with you all. I am Jewish, as you all know, and this is my Rabbi. So I wanted to go ahead and introduce him to all of you.
Hello everybody, I want to wish everyone, well, tomorrow's Shabbat, a good Shabbat, and good Shabbos, and next week, Wednesday night, we celebrate our first night of Passover.
So can you explain to everybody what Passover is?
Sure. Passover commemorates the holiday in which the Jews exited out of Egypt. We were leaving slavery after a few hundred years, and now we were going to be getting our freedom. So it's a time that we celebrate our freedom, our redemption, our deliverance out of Egypt, and now we are to be a free people, no more slave.
And also about Matzah and what we're allowed to eat and what we're not allowed to eat during Passover.
So Matzo came about because when we left Egypt, the dough did not have enough chance to rise. So we celebrate the holiday by eating matzah in Israel for 7 days, and here in the Galut, or the diaspora, living here in America, we celebrate it for 8 days. So we do not eat what's called chametz. Chametz are the grains. We're not allowed to have bread products in our possession, in our house, anywhere in our house, and we are not supposed to eat bread products because we are commemorating the festival of Pesach, of Passover.
So different Jews from all over the world, they eat different things during Passover.
That's true. We have Ashkenazi Jews and Sephardi Jews and Jews who actually eat different kinds of food. So we have different customs and different traditions. As Ashkenazi Jews, today we're going to make matzo ball soup, and it commemorates the holiday, and we usually have it for all our holidays. We also have it every Friday if we can make it.
Yeah.
And everyone puts a different flavor on it.
Yeah, that's true. And Rabbi is making it from scratch. I'm going to go ahead and grab the phone and zoom in so you guys could all see it. So,
okay.
Yeah, he's making...
This is our soup that we have. We're going to be, the fresher the product, the better off it tastes. You can also buy, let's say, parsley in the jar. But here we're using fresh parsley today. I always wash the parsley because you never know if there's any dirt on the parsley. We also have fresh dill. You can also buy dill in the jar. But I love it when it's fresh. It gives a certain flavor to the soup. We also have our onion. All you really need is one large onion, and you can cut it in half if you like. Cut it in quarters. And we also have our carrots, which have already been cleaned. We have to clean our carrots. We cut off the ends, and we can also cut this into bits if we want, and put it into our soup as well. And then we also have our celery. I've also cleaned the celery, and that's all we really need is celery, carrots, one onion, parsley, and dill. And that's basically it. Some use salt and pepper to taste. If you're using kosher chicken, let me get the kosher chicken.
Yeah.
Okay. We have here today kosher chicken. Now, of course, if you're not Jewish, you're not required to have kosher chicken, but we do. Kosher chicken is actually killed by a special shochet, who especially kills the chicken in a certain way and says the blessing over the chicken. This chicken is by Empire, and it's kosher chicken. These are chicken leg quarters, and we know it's kosher because on it is an OU, which means Orthodox Union. So what's nice about kosher chicken, it's already been pre-salted, so you don't have to put it in brine. So in fact, if you're watching your sodium content, you don't even need to put it in the soup. And when I make chicken, even roasted chicken, I don't put anything on the chicken. because the salt gives it the flavor in and of itself. So first we're going to do the matzo ball soup. And what we're going to do first is, we have different brands or straights. I kind of cheat and use the matzo ball mix. So I kind of cheat. I don't use the regular matzah meal, but there is nowadays gluten-free matzah meal. But I like to use the mix. I like to cheat a little bit, and because I want success. So what I have here is we're boiling 2 pots of water, one for the soup and one for the matzo balls. Now the matzo balls take about 30 minutes, so we'll be coming back to that. But you can wet your hands first, and what you want to do is make a ball. Make a ball, a matzo ball. So here's a matzo ball, and put it in the boiling water. Wet your hands. Make a matzo ball and put it into the boiling water. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit more. There we go. Now, by the way, it's very easy when you're making this with the matzo ball mix. All we're adding is 2 eggs and some oil. And then we're letting it sit in the refrigerator for 15 minutes. Then we take it out. And we continue making the matzo balls until it's finished. The matzo balls, once again, take about 30 minutes. And we'll see how this comes out when we come back. But let me just finish making the matzo balls. And then we'll get to the soup.
It looks very delicious.
It tastes very good too. By the way, they do have gluten-free matzo ball mix. So you can also, if you're watching gluten-free, you can also have gluten-free matzo balls. So, okay, we're dipping our hands into the water. Then we're making our matzo ball, making it round, throwing it into boiling water. Probably have about 5 more matzo balls left. Making it into the ball, putting it into the boiling water, making another matzo ball, putting it into the boiling water. Almost done with the matzo balls. And Julie, Johara, is actually a student of mine, taking Torah classes.
Yep.
So,
Yep, I sure am.
and I get to watch her and her dog Winter.
Yep.
By the way, we have a pet. Since I know we're into pets, they are not allowed to eat chametz, anything with bread products. All our products that we buy has to say kosher for Passover. Okay.
Yep.
Now we're waiting 30 minutes for the matzo balls. I will cover it up. And we will wait 30 minutes till the matzo balls are cooking. Let me wash my hands.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go. Now the matzo balls are cooking 30 minutes. It's boiling away. All right, now we are going to our product, and we want to make sure our water is boiling. So we have a big pot. Now usually you put accordingly how much chicken you have to the amount of water. If we use a whole chicken, you might want to use more water, less chicken, maybe half a pot. So today we have our kosher chicken, and we're going to open it up. And it's already been pre-cleaned and already salted. So we're going to put it right into the boiling water. 1, 2. Here's our kosher chicken, already cleaned and salted. There we go. And now, we're going to put in all our ingredients. First, we put in our onion. It's a whole onion. By the way, you can put in as much vegetables as you want. And then we put in our celery. We have a lot of celery. All you really need is 2 stalks. I kind of put in a lot, but let's see. I think we want to put in too much. Might have too much. And then we put in our carrots. All you really need is 2 carrots, but you can put in as many as you want. Oops. And you want to put in your parsley. Parsley is such an excellent flavor. It really flavors the soup. You can still use your in the jar, but nothing like fresh dill.
Yeah, I love parsley.
Yeah, parsley's nice, and here comes the parsley.
Ooh, look at all that.
Fresh parsley. You can use the jar, but nothing like the fresh. And then we put it in here. And that's basically it. Now that has to cook I cook it for at least an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Wow.
So it's going to take some time for the soup to cook. We put on our cover and we watch it so it doesn't overboil. By the way, we can also add some salt and pepper to taste. Some people might want to add some kosher salt. We have some kosher salt actually somewhere here. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Kosher salt. Here. Okay. Oh, here's some salt. Okay. And we can put in a little bit of salt. A little bit, not too much. We have to watch our sodium sometime.
Yeah.
And our matzo balls are cooking. And is there any other? You can also use noodles. You don't have to use matzo balls. And it's nice though. It helps the house smell. And by the way, everyone makes their chicken soup different, so there'll be different flavors. As each one makes it differently, there's a different. You could go to everyone's house and it's different in everybody's house, even though the main ingredient is chicken soup.
It's chicken soup, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
Do you want to say anything else, Johara?
Yes. So I remember you saying in Torah class that also Passover is a very eggy.
Yeah, we have a lot of eggs in our holiday, and we're usually for our Seder, right? We have our Passover Seder. In order to have a Passover meal, we need to use a Haggadah. Haggadah means telling story. Without a Haggadah, it's hard to have a telling story. So if you don't know Hebrew, you can also read the Haggadah in English. And we want to make sure when we start our service, which is Wednesday night, and some celebrate it 2 days, Thursday night. Some Reform Jews celebrate it 1. Some celebrate it 2. Orthodox Jews celebrate it for 2 nights. In Israel, they celebrate it for 1 night. So, whatever we have, and the night before, by the way, is Bidikat Chametz. We would go around the house trying to figure out where the bread. Sometimes Mom puts little croutons on the windows.
Oh.
And we take a feather and either a flashlight or a candle, and we take the breadcrumbs and we scoop it into the bag, and that's called Bidikat Chametz, the burning of the. It's symbolic that now there are no more bread products in the house, and we've actually made sure, or we try to make sure, there's no chametz in the house. It's cleaned out. Some actually sell the chametz to the rabbi to make a traditional getting rid of the chametz out of the house. So we check our Seder plate, right? The word Seder actually means order. We see on the Seder plate is a roasted egg. We see we also have parsley, could be celery, a roasted shank bone, chopped apples with nuts for our charoset, our maror or bitter herbs. Some actually take horseradish root and slice that as well. And we can also have grated horseradish if we don't want to do all that work. Very easy, by the way, to make horseradish. You just get the root, you peel it like a carrot, soak it for 3 days in water, and add vinegar to it. Some add sugar. And we also have, later on, we make a sandwich, make sure we light our candles for the holiday. We have our wine, our kosher wine. It can't be any wine, it has to be kosher. And we have our Seder plate, a cup of Elijah. Elijah's supposed to bring us out to freedom. And he one day will usher in our Messiah, our Mashiach. La 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 la. Mashiach. Some put also 3 matzahs on the table. We cover it. We put it in an afikomen bed, which is a dessert matzah, because later on we take the middle matzah, break it, and hide it, and look. The kids look for the little matzah.
Oh yeah.
You get a gift. Right?
Yeah.
For the person leading the Seder, sometimes they have a pillow, and they were no longer slaves in the land of Egypt. We can recline. We have salt water for dipping. We take parsley or celery, dip it in the salt water. Water representing tears. And some have a basin to wash our hands. And we have a wine cup for each person. That's our Seder plate. And we have a whole service. The Seder means order. And we have a whole list of things we need to do for Passover.
Yeah, let me show the book.
Yes, see, we have Kadesh, we say the blessing over the wine. Orchatz, we wash our hands. Karpash, we dip the vegetable in salt water. Yachatz, we break the middle matzah, right? We hide the larger half, the afikomen. We tell the story of Passover. We have 4 questions on why this night is different than all of the other nights. We wash our hands again. We say the blessing. We say the blessing over the matzah. We dip the matzah in bitter herbs, the horseradish, and the charoset. The charoset represents mortar or the bricks. Remember, the bricks were made out of mud, and we used to do mud and straw, but we no longer, the Pharaoh said no more straw, so then we just do mud, right? And we also have, we make a sandwich out of the charoset and bitter herbs. We eat our meal. We then eat the dessert matzah. We say the blessing over the 3rd cup of wine. We welcome in Elijah the prophet. Eliyahu Hanabi. Elijah, our prophet, will usher in our Messiah one day. We open the door. We welcome in. If we're in the safe neighborhood, we open the door. And we sing the 4th cup of wine. And we complete the Seder. Don't forget, Berkat Hamazon.
So, Rabbi, explain to everybody what makes our wine different, that it's kosher wine.
Right, so basically we have, it's watched, and we have a rabbi making sure that there aren't any ingredients in there that is not appropriate. And so we always have like a mashgiach to come in and make sure everything is kosher, because we want a kosher Pesach, and said we have a kosher. Let's have a kosher and a happy Passover. That's what's important. That's what makes our holiday different. But we should all be free, not only here in America, but throughout the world. We should only get along with everyone. And there should be no more fighting. And there's a song called Lo Yisagoy El Reb. Lo Yisagoy El Goy Hereb. No nation shall lift up sword against nation.
I agree.
Okay.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. Well, thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna wait for
the matzah
balls, and we'll be right back.
Okay. Thank you.